interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Have you ever wondered why the news plays the same 5 stories again and again? Let me give you a little hint. Brainwashing and repetition is the most basic form of brainwashing. Join me as we look at the news cycle and talk about why the mainstream media is so gutless and afraid to report the truth. All right, welcome to Troubled Minds News, and happy Friday. What's up, guys? This is the show where we talk about the news, and not just the news. We look at the news cycle. We talk about propaganda. We wonder about how these new scientific studies come out every day and say, well, humans can live forever, or, well, maybe they can't, or all the rest of this, right? It seems like everything is in this post-truth world as contradictory as you could imagine. And so, unfortunately, it's up to us to try and decide what truth actually means anymore. And so as a result of that, this is the news show. And so, of course, this show spawned off the other show, which the other show is Troubled Minds. Both of these shows, regular Troubled Minds and the Troubled Minds News, are now found on the same podcast feed, so you don't have to follow two and juggle this and track that and do all the rest of the things. It's all combined in one thing, so if you like the news show, you can find it right there on the podcast feed with Troubled Minds. Everything's consolidated and ready to go, ready for your consumption. How about that? So that's what's up. As you know, we've talked about all kinds of crazy stuff on Troubled Minds this week, like we normally do, which is what? Aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, all the good stuff, right? All the fun stuff that we like to talk about. But unfortunately, just because of time constraints and the way the conversations really develop, it ends up being that we don't get to a ton of news. So, well, this show kind of spawned off of that with a ton of news, a ton of different news. So that's what we do on this show. That's what's up. That's why why this kind of broke off into its own thing, because the old show, the news segment, got way too long, and it just seems better to do it all by itself. So in any case, that's what's going on. And if you wondered, yeah, this is live. We do this live because it's always been live. Number one, for transparency reasons. Do you want to call me and tell me I'm full of shit? Phone number is right there, 702-957-1037. Troubledminds.org is the official website for this and the other show. And you can find the phone number right on top, the Discord link right on top. And it's all good. It's all good. This is what we do. And we get together on Fridays and Mondays and do this show. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we do Troubled Minds at 7 p.m. on D-Live, Facebook, YouTube, and the Fringe FM. All right, so as we talk about this, actually, how's the bass? I removed all of the bass entirely. I have no processing whatsoever on my voice. I've dropped it. It was barely anything, and now it's gone, entirely gone. So feedback on that, please. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but people were complaining that I was blowing out their speakers. I mean, not like actually breaking anything, but kind of like fritzing them, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me because it sounds fine on my end through headphones and through speakers, through my phone. I've literally tested. You guys don't want to know how much audio testing I've done in my life, but it's a lot. It's a ton, and so I couldn't replicate whatever other people were hearing. But people have said that my voice with that slight here, I can turn it on, and maybe we can do a little experiment here. So if you hear, this is literally nothing, no processing whatsoever. But if I do this and just move it kind of back to where it was, right about say there-ish, you see, it's like barely like a voice a little bit bassy, but it's literally barely. But anyway, it was supposedly having problems with people's speakers. So there we go. Let's just set it back to normal. Anyway, this is my exact voice, and this is what I always say, like, hey, that's my voice, guys. I'm not sure why you're, saying I'm blowing speakers out, because, it's my damn voice. It's my damn voice. But anyway, here we go. Troubled Minds News. You want to be part of the show? 702-957-1037. Phone line's up. Discord is up, and we're talking the news. So feedback on the no base or the I don't know. I kind of don't care. I just don't want to break people's stuff. You know what I'm saying? That would be nice to not break people's speakers. All right, let's go. What's up? I see you guys in the chat. Helena says the voice is still better than George Clooney's. Helena knows how to trigger me. You bring up George Clooney. That's my MK Ultra trigger word. All right, here we go. We've got NPR.org. reports this. Now this is the type of stuff that I'm telling you that it absolutely does not get enough play in the world, right? Here we are, with all these stupid American politics, and we're like just shitting on this country and saying that all these terrible things, and it's racist and everything else, and we need to just overturn the entire system because it's awful. All the while, people all over the damn world are trying to come here because, well, guess what? Other places it's far worse. Case in point, this is reported by NPR, and headline is this: a man was executed for an alleged crime when he was a teen. More Saudis could follow. Now, this is there's a little thing, and sorry if I'm boring you with the civics lessons again, but there's a little thing that we have in the United States, and it's called due process. And what that means is that if you are actually, accused of a crime, that you have a right to a fair trial, a speedy and fair trial, and the right to a proper defense. And if you can't, right, the Miranda law, right, if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed. You will not be compelled to testify against yourself. All these things, right? These are very basic human rights, but the world over doesn't actually consider this. So anyway, let's go to this. 6 years ago, Saudi Arabian authorities arrested Mustafa Hashem al-Darwish and charged him with attending anti-government protest years earlier when he was 17. Now, notice they arrested and charged him for just attending a protest. All right? So notably, there's some things here that are foul right off the bat. And he was 17, right? In these laws over here. I know the laws don't translate the world over, but 17 here would be a minor. I'm not saying our laws are perfect here. I'm just saying, pointing it out. It continues. According to Reprieve, a UK nonprofit that investigates human rights abuses, a court found al-Darwish guilty and sentenced him to death, despite the fact that he was a minor at the time he allegedly attended the protests. On Tuesday, without warning, Saudi Arabia's Ministry of the Interior announced al-Darwish, then 26, had been executed. The announcement, released in Arabic, accused al-Darwish of using arms to revolt against the ruler, destabilizing security, and forming an armed terrorist cell. Human rights advocates say al-Darwish's trial was unjust. They have been calling on Saudi Arabia to halt the executions of at least 9 other people sentenced to death for crimes allegedly committed as minors, in accordance with the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, which prohibits executions for crimes committed by minors. All right, now point being here is that like everything has to be taken in context, right? And so the context here, it's mind-boggling to me that we're talking about, well, he was 17, he was a minor, we're trying to protect the children, right, is the premise of this article. But holy shit, the guy just attended a damn, right, like a protest. Like, what about that? Right? The right to protest, right? I mean, now this is sick. And these are the things that are going on the world over that really, like, why are they not pressing this in the mainstream media? Why is there not international outrage about these things? I'll tell you why. Because they don't give a damn. That's why. Because they're more concerned about whatever bullshit they want to pull here, that, they let China run amok, that they let this shit happen. And I'm telling you, stuff like this would stop if there was international pressure to make it stop. But there's not. Because guess what? There's all these other political considerations. There's Saudi Arabia and there's the oil. There's all these other things, right? All these other things that are so much more important than murdering people like this, because he attended a rally. Now, I don't know, of course, was he a terrorist? I doubt it. I really doubt it. Only because the more I hear the word terrorist, the more I realize it's a political term, right? Like I always say, sure, fine. Catch the terrorists. It's a good thing. Except when they change the term of what a terrorist means. And today, it's that guy. Tomorrow, it's me. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And this is the point. The point of all this is the world is not apples to apples, okay? And for crapping on a lot of our institutions, fine, you're allowed to do that. But holy shit, people, there's a lot of really sick shit going on in this world, and this is just one example of that. He attended a protest when he was 17, and at 26 years old, after being held in jail that entire time, he was executed. Executed. Yeah. Dead. Yeah. You see, so everything in its full context, and this is context, for the laws of the world, for human rights. Yeah. All right, let's continue, shall we? A little bit dark to start there, but let's move on. Let's go to this. This is The Guardian. Now this is this is one of those things that it literally keeps hitting the news cycle, and it's like it's binary. It's like all right, we found the secrets to aging. And now people can live to 150 years old, right? That's the maximum limit of the human lifespan, right? We see these articles all the time. But what they're not telling you is it's in mice, right? Oh, we did this and it worked. Holy shit. In mice, all right? Okay, so now check this one out. This is from The Guardian. And aging process is unstoppable, finds unprecedented study. and in other news, the grass is green, the sky is blue, and no shit, Sherlock. All right, here we go. Research suggests humans cannot slow the rate at which they get older because of biological constraints. Yeah, right? Immortality and everlasting youth are the stuff of myths. Myth, should be myth, singular, according to new research, which may finally end the eternal debate about whether we can live forever, backed by governments, business, academics, and investors in industry, and blah, blah. An unprecedented study has now confirmed that we probably cannot slow the rate at which we get older because of biological constraints. The study, by an international collaboration of scientists from 14 countries and including experts from the University of Oxford, set out to test the invariant rate of aging hypothesis, which says that a species has a relatively fixed rate of aging from adulthood. And again, right, in other news, grass is green, sky's blue. And quote, our findings support the theory that rather than slowing down death, more people are living much longer due to a reduction in mortality at younger ages, says Jose Manuel Oberto from Oxford's Leverhulme Center for Demographic Science, who analyzed age-specific birth and death data spanning centuries and continents. Quote, we compared birth and death data from humans and non-human primates and found this general pattern of mortality was the same in all of them, said Alberto. This suggests that biological rather than environmental factors ultimately control longevity, right? Biological rather than environmental factors. All right. Again, once again, like are these people getting paid to do this, right? In aging process unstoppable. Okay. I mean, isn't there a saying, death and taxes, right? Like, it's like, come on. Really? Anyway, like this is the news, right? This is the type of stuff that kind of hits like, come on. And then 2 weeks ago or whatever, last week, humans can live to be 150 years old. And this is what I'm saying. And this is part of like the propaganda news cycles. This is part of clickbait. This is part of these BS studies that get funded for what? Like, okay, fine. Like, did we really believe anything other than this was true? Did anybody out there believe that the aging process was actually unstoppable? Anybody out there believe that? I mean, you could probably stretch it. I mean, look at Henry Kissinger, right? Wink, wink. Or whatever. But I mean, the aging's unstoppable. I mean, for crying out loud, people. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the type of stuff when I just read the news and I just shake my head the entire time. Like, what? Headline after headline. What? Why? For the love of God, why? Anyway, all right. Where are we at time-wise? Sometimes I talk too fast and sometimes I ramble on, I'm told. So anyway, let's continue. TechCrunch.com reports this. Now, this is interesting. Yeah, there you go. Helena says, we can live forever or not in the news. Yeah, right? No shit. Or not. All right. Apple's new encrypted browsing feature won't be available in China, Saudi Arabia, and more. Now, this has got a lot of attention in the press. This new Apple, they're talking about kind of locking it down privacy-wise so that basically, I'll read some from the article here, but it's supposed to be a good thing because you're going to be able to. They've got commercials out. They're pushing all this, and they're saying, you get to control who tracks you. And so, as a result of that, in the Apple Store now they're forcing. It's starting a big rift between the huge tech conglomerates because, of course, Google's pissed off because they're like, well, shit, we make our money tracking you, and Apple's like, well, hey, you have to be able to turn it off or you're not going to be in our app store, right? So there's a problem there. And so, of course, and to be fair, I don't know how accurate this is, the turn off the tracking. I don't know. I'm suspicious of that, of course. But, if it's pissing off Google and these other guys, Twitter and the rest of these clowns that want to track us and sell our data, then this in particular is maybe a good thing. I don't know. But I don't know. I can't use Apple devices because that shit's voodoo to me. You cannot even easily get an Apple device and then get the Wi-Fi password off of it. Like if you're at somebody's play. Anyway, like there's a lot of really stupid shit with Apple. So there you go. There's my little Apple rant. But in any case, and it costs 3 times as much as an Android. Just saying. But in any case, this new privacy feature where you're going to be able to turn off your tracking is now this. TechCrunch reports Apple's new encrypted browsing feature won't be available in China, Saudi Arabia, and more. Apple announced a handful of privacy-focused updates in its annual software developer conference on Monday. One called Private Relay particularly piques the interest of Chinese users living under the country's censorship system, for it encrypts all browsing history so nobody can track or intercept the data. Sounds good, right? So here we go. As my colleague Roman Dillett explains, when Private Relay is turned on, nobody can track your browsing history. Not your internet service provider, anyone standing in the middle of your request between your device and the server you're requesting information from. We'll have to wait a bit to learn more about how it works exactly. So like I'm saying, I'm suspicious a little bit because when you say, oh, well, secure this on the internet. Yeah, right. That's what I think. But who knows? If it's pissing off Google and some of these other guys, maybe it works enough to block some of these other apps. In any case, the excitement didn't last long. Apple told Reuters that Private Relay won't be available in China alongside Belarus, Colombia, Egypt, Kazakhstan, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkmenistan, Uganda, and the Philippines. Weird, right? Weird. So the weird part about this is that these are countries that really, I don't know, what would you say, don't value freedom like the rest of the Western world. And I say Western world just because, the Magna Carta, the Code of Hammurabi, England, and, due process. Some of these things, they came from the West, all right? So that's why I'm saying that, right? Some of these human rights, remember 1776? It was a lot to do about a lot of that. So anyway, in any case, see, I'm probably on another list now for saying 1776. But anyway, check this out. So it continues that Apple couldn't immediately be reached for comment by TechCrunch, and so it's VPNs, right? So in an interview with Fast Company, Craig Federighi Apple's senior vice president of software engineering, explained why the new feature may be superior to a VPN. We all know what a VPN is. If you don't, it's right here in the article, and I did share the article. There's a VPN. I'm not going to bore you with those details. He says, quote, "We hope users believe in Apple as a trustworthy intermediary. But we didn't even want you to have to trust us because we don't have this ability to simultaneously source your IP and the destination where you're going to, and that's unlike VPNs. So we wanted to provide many of the benefits that people are seeking when in the past they've decided to use a VPN, but not force that difficult and conceivably perilous privacy trade-off in terms of trusting in a single intermediary." All right, so I know it's a little technical and some people are not into that, but the point of this is as simple, is that the tracking is out of control. It's out of control. Like I said, right, the new conspiracy theory that I invented myself, pat me on the back, is that they're tracking us to get the metadata to find out what will literally become the stuff of our worst nightmares, so they can project it in the sky and make us all go insane with our own personal demons projected in the sky. There you go. There's my new conspiracy theory. How true is that? I don't know, but but in any case. All right, so you see the point here. So in other countries, like it's supposed to work, you know, in all these other places, but in some places in the world, they're like, nah, no, we're not going to do that because, of course, right, there are other state-sponsored interests at play, meaning that they want the state, the countries at large, China and some of these places, they want to track you, and so if this will interfere with their tracking mechanisms in countries, well, it's not going to happen. So anyway, I thought it was notable that they're not going to allow this feature in some of these countries, which tells you maybe it has something that might be good features in there. Okay, so anyway, blah blah, so on and so forth. Like I always say, this show's live. If you want to call in, add on any of this, or you want to request show topics for the coming days, show feedback, whatever, open. It's basically we're always really open lines about whatever. But if you like call during a show about ghosts and want to talk about aliens, I just ask that you don't derail for too long. That's all. But it's pretty much always open lines to talk about whatever the hell you want. 702-957-1037, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link, and let's continue, shall we? There's more. There's always more here. Let's go to this. Now, in other news, right, speaking of news and propaganda and all the rest of this garbage they're always trying to feed us in these dirty news cycles, let's go to this. This is from phys.org, right, which, you know, is a nice site for propaganda. Now check this out. Interestingly, headline reads this: Doomsday Glacier may be more stable than initially feared. Oh, no shit. You mean to tell me that all of the fear propaganda regarding climate change may not be true? Oh, who knew? Who knew? Come on. Okay. Anyway, this is my other trigger word: climate change. The world's largest ice sheets may be less in danger of sudden collapse than previously predicted, according to new findings led by the University of Michigan. The study, published in Science, included simulating the demise of West Antarctic's Thwaites Glacier, Thwaites, one of the world's largest and most unstable glaciers. Researchers modeled the collapse of various heights of ice cliffs near vertical formations that occur where glaciers and ice shelves meet the ocean. They found that instability doesn't always lead to rapid disintegration. Oh, I see. That's not what we've been told. We've been told the world's ending, and if we don't do whatever they tell us politically, then it's see the fire in the background? We're going to all burn in a blazing hell. Speaking of burning in blazing hell, how hot is it out there? Let's see. It's pretty damn hot here. It's 113 degrees right now. So let's see. And for you Celsius types, it's 45 degrees Celsius. There you go. Just so you know, we're actually burning in hell. We are. So anyway, point being, here we go. Quote, we have found that over long time scales, ice behaves like a viscous fluid, sort of like a pancake spreading out in a frying pan, said Jeremy Bassis, UM Associate Professor of Climate and Space Sciences and Engineering. So the ice spreads out and thins faster than it can fail, and this can stabilize collapse. But if the ice can't thin fast enough, that's when you have the possibility of rapid glacier collapse. The researchers combined the variables of ice failure and ice flow for the first time, finding that stretching and thinning of ice, as well as buttressing from trapped chunks of ice, may moderate the effects of fracture-induced marine ice cliff instability. There you go. The terms, guys. Marine ice cliff instability. You see what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Again, like I said, I'm not saying that mankind is not, the anthropogenic climate stuff. Clearly, there's billions of people on this planet. Clearly, we're affecting it in some way. My point is, and why climate change is another one of my MK Ultra trigger words, is that the propaganda we get regarding this shit, it's off the rails. It's been off the rails for like a dozen years or more, right? If you go, you can find articles back to like 2013 that are like, oh, if we don't get this shit in order by 2015, the end is here. The end is here, right? And here it is, 2021. And you could literally go back and you could spend probably the rest of the year just finding like inconsistent stupidity regarding this stuff in the press. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like, come on, like, we're told to trust the science, and then we get shit like this, where they're like, oh, by the way, the world's ending by 2015. Greta, how dare you? Where's the flood, guys? Where's the flood? Yeah, triggered. It's grotesquely irresponsible to take and warp and bend science in these ways and use it as propaganda in the press, and that's what they're doing. And people wonder why. And again, like I said, it's like you talk about the vaccine, and they're like, you're an anti-vaxxer, right? You talk about this, and you're like, oh, you're a climate change denier. No, I'm not. I'm not either of those things. However, there's a lot of bullshit that they're telling us about both of those things. All right? And I don't like it. As you know, I don't like being lied to. Just tell me straight up. Give me the dirt. Give us the news. Give us the real news. We're adults. We can handle this. But they won't. They don't want to. They want to talk about doomsday glaciers. Yeah. You see? Yeah. In any case, all right. So now that I'm off my soapbox, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor, which is you.
Are you digging the show? If so, you can support us quite easily and at no additional cost to you if you already have an Amazon Prime account. Since we stream on Twitch every day, all you have to do is link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and they give you free games on a monthly basis for your personal use, and also a bonus $5 a month to send to your favorite streamer as a way to bring more people to Twitch. And all you have to do is sync up to 2 accounts and click subscribe. Thanks for considering us.
Okay, there you go. Jay's got it. He says, more taxes will save the world. Yeah, exactly. More taxes will save us, right? Even though with the money they have, they grotesquely misuse, trillions go missing, and it's fine. The answer is, you guys aren't paying your fair share of taxes, right? Yeah. Taxes, my other MK Ultra trigger word. All right, so let's continue, shall we? Where are we at time-wise? Just got to pace these things appropriately and make sure we don't burn through all the good news and then twiddle our thumbs at the end. All right, Matt says more taxes, so it's to fix the roads. Anybody been to California? Speaking of fixing the roads, who's stealing the money that's supposed to be fixing the roads in California? Anybody know? Somebody's stealing that money because the roads in California are a disaster. It's like the worst places in the world, I'm pretty sure. All right, let's go to this. This is from sciencealert.com. I thought this was pretty amazing. You know how they say blind people can, their senses are heightened, their other senses, right? So they can't see, but that means they can hear particularly well, right? And some other things. It's because, well, the human body has an amazing ability to adapt. Now check this out. Humans can learn how to echolocate in just 10 weeks. experiment shows. So with enough training, most humans can learn how to echolocate using their tongue to make clicking sounds and interpreting the echoes that come back, reflected from the surrounding environment. In as few as 10 weeks, researchers were able to teach participants how to navigate obstacles and recognize the size and orientation of objects using the rebounding calls of their clicks. The experiment involved 12 participants who'd been diagnosed as legally blind during their childhood and 14 sighted people, so a total of 26 people, and 12 were legally blind. Echolocation is a skill we usually associate with animals such as bats and whales, but some blind humans also use the echoes of their own sounds to detect obstacles and their outlines. Some use the tapping of a cane or the snapping of their fingers to make the necessary noise, while others use their mouths to make a clicking sound. Despite how useful this skill can be, very few blind people are currently taught how to do it. Expert echolocators have been trying to spread the word for years now, and this study suggests a simple training schedule is all that's needed. Quote, I cannot think of any other work with blind participants that has had such enthusiastic feedback, says psychologist Laura Thaler from the Durham University in the UK. Over the course of 20 training sessions, which were about 2 to 3 hours long, researchers found that blind and sighted participants, both old and young, all improved considerably at click-based echolocation. Now, how amazing is that? Like we've talked about on the Troubled Mind show about humans and superpowers, right? Well, I would consider this to be something in the kind of in the vein of a sixth sense or a superpower or something that normal people cannot do. But they're saying in just 10 weeks that people could click with their tongue and be able to echolocate, which is amazing. That's incredible. And what it tells me is that the human brain is far more capable than what we use on a daily basis, right? And humans are very adaptable, and these are good things. Back to that Jurassic Park quote, life finds a way, right? And so as a result, for all the shitty things we can say about humans, there are a ton of good things we can say about humans as well. So good stuff. And I thought this was a fascinating study. And how on God's green earth is this? How are we not like going around clicking in the dark, right? In the dark. Think about that. We could see in the dark, guys. Click, click, click. And you know what's around you. That's incredible. That's incredible. Large Marge says Newsom and Pelosi take that money. Yeah, not just them. There's a whole crime syndicate over there in California that are just burgling all the money. Let's see. Oh, what's up, guys? The Night Stalker says, I'm just picturing a guy standing in front of a glacier screaming as it moves super slowly. Exactly. That would be me. I would be the guy screaming, like rooting it on. So anyway, like this is pretty cool. Echolocate 10 weeks, and this is superhuman, right? This is superhuman, like a Daredevil, as mentioned in the chat there, like the superhero, the blind superhero, right? I mean, now. Impressive, right? I thought it was impressive. All right, let's continue. Let's get to some more propaganda that pisses me off, because, well, most of it pisses me off. But here we go. Have you ever found propaganda that doesn't piss you off? How about that? I guess maybe that's a better question. Better way to frame this. But anyway, let's go to Yahoo News. Yahoo News says this. Fauci acknowledges he privately entertained lab leak genetic engineering theories early in the pandemic. Oh, no shit, you say. Really? Oh, you mean you were lying to us again, friend? Thank you. You're the best, Mr. Fauci, the greatest doctor in all the land. Dr. Anthony Fauci acknowledged that he and a group of scientists had discussed the theory that the coronavirus leaked from a lab and the possibility that it could have been genetically engineered during a teleconference on February 1st, 2020. Think about the date, guys. February 1st, 2020. You know who they beat on that? Many people speculating that, but not Ash and I. We were talking about those things in January 2020, the first week of January 2020. And so you're telling me the best doctor in all the land was a month behind some yahoos on a conspiracy podcast. Weird. Quote, I remember it very well, Fauci told USA Today on Thursday. We decided we decided to call the situation... What? Wait. How is this so poorly written? Is this really what he said? I remember it very well, Fauci. I'm going to read it exactly as it's written. I remember it very well, Fauci told USA Today on Thursday. We decided on the call the situation really needed to be looked into carefully. That sounds like a bad... Anyway, I think I'm the moron. The existence of the teleconference was documented in a trove of Fauci's emails released as part of a FOIA request by BuzzFeed. Christian Anderson, a participant on the call and specialist in infectious disease genomics at the Scripps Research Translational Institute, told Fauci in an email on January 31st that, quote, some of the features of coronavirus potentially look engineered. Oh, February 1st, 2020. Weird. I wonder, see, now wouldn't it be amazing to have like this thing where you could go back and look at the news cycle on February 1st, 2020 and see what the government was saying about this? I recall somewhere around Valentine's Day, Nancy Pelosi was in Chinatown saying, everybody come down. There's no need to be racist. Come down to Chinatown. You remember that shit? Right? February 1st, 2020. Unbelievably stupid the way these people react to these things. Unbelievably stupid. And, well, here you go. The existence of the teleconference, we already said that. So Anderson wrote that he, virologist Edward Holmes at the University of Sydney, and other scientists agreed that they, quote, all find the genome inconsistent with expectations from evolutionary theory, although those opinions could still change. Now, all the way back to February 1st, 2020, they had notable scientists on a conference call with the best doctor in all the land, Dr. Anthony Fauci, and they considered the possibility and actually cited evidence that the genome of COVID-19 looked engineered. Just let that hang in the air for a little bit. And if that doesn't expose literally everything about what the government knows and says and doesn't say, I don't know what does. It never came out of this man's mouth. He shot down the theories that it possibly could be created in a lab. Yeah, right? What, like, again, like what kind of world do we live in where we can't get even a taste of the truth? And then when we do, we're called conspiracy theorists, right? We're labeled as terrorists. We're trying to take down the system. How about just telling us the truth? Is that so hard? Is it really so hard? And the more shit like this comes out, and it comes out every damn day there's something that comes out that makes you go, oh, well, I guess they weren't telling us the truth again. How are we expected to trust you tomorrow, Mr. Uncle Sam, Mr. Big Government, Mr. Bureaucracy that has no idea what the left hand and the right hand are doing? How are we supposed to trust you? This is bullshit. This pisses me off a lot, and like I said, I don't like being lied to. Just tell me straight up. Michael Strange, you ramble on and you talk too fast. It's okay. I'll get over it. I really will. Just kidding. I may never. All right, let's go to this. Let's go to ABC New York. ABC, NBC. Bunch of assholes. Either way. But all right, here we go. Let's see. Let's go to this, and where are we at time-wise? I think we're okay. Actually, let's take a quick break, which if you're listening live, you'll be in for a treat because it's going to go by before you know it. You're listening to Troubled Minds News with Michael Strange. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Okay, welcome back to Troubled Minds News. Let's continue, shall we? Let's get on with this, with ABCNewYork.com reports this. Yeah, here we go. More of the weird world we live in. And yeah, wouldn't you know it, study says half of United States cosmetics contain toxic chemicals. Oh, neat. The study results were announced as a bipartisan group of senators introduced a bill to ban the use of PFAs in cosmetics and other beauty products. Yeah. More than half the cosmetics sold in the United States and Canada likely contain high levels of a toxic industrial compound linked to serious health conditions, including cancer and reduced birth weight, according to a new study. Researchers at the University of Notre Dame tested more than 230 commonly used cosmetics and found that 56% of foundations and eye products, 48% of lip products, and 47% of mascaras contain high levels of fluorine, an indicator of PFAS, so-called forever chemicals, that are used in non-stick frying pans, rugs, and countless other consumer products. Right? Yeah. There we go. Phone line took a crap, so let me dial back in. Pardon me for just one moment. Did I mention we're live? If you want to be part of the show, the phone line is reconnecting right now, and you can be part of the show by dialing this number, 702-957-1037, troubledminds.org's the official website. Click the Discord link and join us on Discord as well. Phone number is right on top. If you ever need anything from Troubled Minds, go to the website. It's there. The schedule's there. The podcast is there. The phone number's there. Discord link, everything's there. One-stop shop, troubledminds.org. All right, let's get back to this as our phone line dials back in. But so some of the highest PFAS levels were found in waterproof mascara at 82% and long-lasting lipstick 62%, according to a study published Tuesday in the journal Environmental Science and Technology Letters. 29 products with high fluorine concentrations were tested further and found to contain between 4 and 13 specific PFAS chemicals. I'm saying PFAS. It's actually PFAS chemicals, the study found. Only one item listed PFAS as an ingredient on the label. Oh, wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you know? So they find dozens of these things, and only one of them actually lists this particular chemical compound as part of the ingredients, right? This is what I'm saying. Like, how are we supposed to trust, I don't know, let's say the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, when this is the type of shit that gets by? They're like, oh, well, you don't have to list it if it's on the, if your lobbyist paid the senator enough, then you don't have to list your shit on the thing that causes cancer. You know what I'm saying? Like, once again, is it so hard to just tell us the truth? Is it so hard? The study results were announced as a bipartisan group. Every time I hear bipartisan, I get nervous. Is it just me? Anyway, a bipartisan group of senators introduced a bill to ban the use of PFAS or, oh God, I can't say it. Let's get Microsoft Mike to help us out. My lovely assistant, Microsoft Mike, will say this big word that I cannot. Here we go.
The study results were announced as a bipartisan group of senators introduced a bill to ban the use of PFAS, or perfluoroalkyl and polyfluoroalkyl substances, in cosmetics and other beauty products. The move to ban PFAS comes as Congress considers wide-ranging legislation to set a national drinking water standard for certain PFAS chemicals and clean up contaminated sites across the country, including military bases where high rates of PFAS have been discovered.
Yeah, that's how you say it. In any case, PFAS. Half of U.S. cosmetics contain toxic chemicals, and Hell has a great point. Helena says this: might as well use lead paint on my face then. Exactly. Well, shit. It has that nice sheen, and it will stay for days, right? You don't have to, take it off. You just paint it up, and it's all good. Leave it as is. You'll be good for the week. Yeah. This is the type of shit. It's like, really? Really? Nobody noticed this? We need this bipartisan group of assholes to come up and say, oh, by the way, that makeup we're using, guys, it's causing cancer. Yeah, well, and that's why we live in the upside down, isn't it? They're too busy doing all this other bullshit, right? Making these, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I got so much to say that I just don't say. I can't say. I'm not going to say it. Let's go to this. SciPost.org. Now, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. More of these fantastic studies from these, fine people. SciPost.org says this: new psychology research uncovers why people with dark tetrad personality traits are more likely to believe conspiracy theories. Oh, I see. How about all the shit I've been talking about today, is all conspiracy theories, but it's all true? How about that? How about the fact that you're well, let's just ignore all of the truth in these conspiracies, these quote conspiracies, and then you're the sociopath for not even realizing that there's lead in the makeup. How about that? Dick, whoever wrote this, Beth Elwood, sorry. All right, sorry, not sorry. Here we go. The dark tetrad traits describe the antisocial personality traits of narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and sadism. All right? Those four things. While all four of these traits describe people who are prone to cruel behavior and taking advantage of others, each one is associated with a distinct profile. Narcissism involves the tendency to be overly concerned with one's self-image. Machiavellianism involves the tendency to be deceitful and manipulative. Psychopathy includes callousness and lack of remorse, and sadism involves pleasure from inflicting pain in others. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks. So you see what this is? Like, this is literally a war on truth. Okay, and again, trust me, I don't even know the truth. What I do know is they're not telling it to us. That's all I know. Okay, that's what I do know, and that is the truth, that we're not getting it. All right, that's the real truth. Except you get assholes like this in these psychology circles or whatever they're doing, and if you think outside of the mainstream narratives, you are a conspiracy theorist. And not only that, there's a dark tetrad of personality traits that make people believe these things. So guess what that means? You believe Fauci doesn't have our best interest in mind, and he's just a spinster that was carrying the government's water telling lies? Well, guess what? You are a narcissist psychopath with sadistic tendencies. Yeah. Clearly, right? Clearly. So what about the opposite? What about the inverse? What about, are you all those things if you believe all the bullshit from MSNBC or Fox News? Are you that same asshole? I think you are. I think you're worse. Because you can't think for yourself, and you want to malign people that do by labeling them these terrible things. Sorry. It doesn't fly with me. This does not fly with me. This is the type of stuff that helps governments cite a report to label a new breed of terrorists. And you know what that new breed of terrorists are going to be? Me. You, for listening, chatting, being part of this. Us. It's not okay. This is not okay. I'm sane. I'm perfectly sane. No, I'm sorry. I'm not any of those things. I'm flawed. Yes. But am I a psychopath for thinking for myself? No. Like I said, it pisses me off. This stuff really, really gets under my skin when they start trying to label people as these terrible things just for going off the mainstream narrative. Let's file this under how could this go wrong? Futurism reports this. Restore your body clock and sleep schedule with Aeolite's wearable technology. All right. You get these little 3D or sci-fi doodads to put on your face. Use the right wavelengths of light to conquer jet lag as part of light therapy and much more. All right, light therapy. Light therapy, they call this. How could this go wrong? Well, someday our robot avatar will do the commuting for us. Right now, we're a species that tends to travel long distances quickly, and our internal clock doesn't always keep up, so we're constantly adjusting our sleep schedules, struggling to stay awake or work at work or to sleep at night. The Aeolite was designed to help ease your body back into its natural rhythm when you need to travel and when the seasons change. Light therapy. Now this is a commercial, right? This is amazing. I'm going to read this like commercial. Light therapy uses specific wavelengths of light to mimic natural outdoor light. The theory is that our bodies use these wavelengths to set circadian rhythms and as cues for other natural processes like falling asleep or to release certain neurotransmitters. Generally, that's done with a light therapy box, a bulky light that you sit in front of or for up to an hour a day, depending on your needs. That's not always possible in our busy lives or when work takes us away from our usual spaces. Rated 4 out of 5 stars on Amazon, the Aeolite condenses... Get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah. How could this go wrong? Light therapy, right? Flickering light in your eyes in just a particular manner. It seems cool, right? It seems legit. Help you get some sleep. Anybody believe that? Anybody believe that? I don't. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's do this. This is from NPR.org, and this is interesting. China's new anti-foreign sanctions law sends a chill through the business community. Yeah. Organizations, let's see. Okay, over the last 3 years, the U.S. and the European Union have imposed a series of sanctions on Chinese officials and companies. Now China has created a new legal tool to hit back. On Thursday, Beijing passed a sweeping law designed to counter U.S. and EU sanctions on Chinese officials and major Chinese companies. Those involved in designing or implementing the U.S. and EU sanctions could find themselves or their family members denied visas to China. All right. So fine. They won't let you into China. Denied visas to China. All right. It continues, though. Their property in China may be seized, and any commercial transaction they attempt with the Chinese institution can be blocked. Quote, the law signals that when you have no standing or power to boss people around, then your law in the U.S. will get you nowhere in China, says Wei Jianguo, a former Commerce Vice Minister. The law is like the ringing of a gong. It is a warning to the U.S. You should be worried. China will not endure this treatment as easily as it once did. Cool. Cool, right? Sounds neat. I'm never going to China, by the way. I'm pretty sure they'd instantly kidnap me off the plane and, put me in a gulag. But anyway, interesting. So let's see how this plays out and how, our fearless leader who does what he's told handles the situation. Let's go to the Sun. This is interesting. I like this one. The Sun, this is actually the U.S. version of the Sun. I thought this was the sun.co.uk, which is one of my favorite tabloids. Okay. Better believe it. Obama says new religions could spring up and U.S. may spend more on weapons if UFO report confirms alien life. Now look, we talk about propaganda all the time on this show and the other show. And this in particular, are you kidding me? Listen, he said it. Now I can't tell, the audio is so poor. I can't tell if this is like a deep fake or if Obama actually said this. Let's listen to what he said. It's not that long.
I would hope that the knowledge that there were aliens out there would solidify people's sense that what we have in common is a little more important. But no doubt there would be immediate arguments about we need to spend a lot more money on weapon systems to defend ourselves, and those their new religions would pop up, and who knows what kind of arguments we get into. We're good at manufacturing arguments for each other.
Here's another longer question. What are we doing now, humanity? They'll be judged for most harshly in 100.
Okay, I didn't catch the rest of that, but I'm pretty sure he's going to say climate change. Just saying. All right. New religions and more defense spending, he says. So he's cynical as well, coming from the government and, of course, being the whatever you call it, the best president of all time. He says that it's likely new religions will spring up as a result of what comes out in this actual UFO report. And so as a result, more defense spending, right? Threat narratives. We talked about this quite a bit. Yeah, that audio sounds fake, doesn't it? I kind of agree. That doesn't even sound like Obama, really. Is that a deep fake? Anyway, I thought it was interesting to note. All right, here we go. Now, here's another one. Now, look. Okay, I'm not going to say it. From the New York Post. OnlyFans star, 20 years old, suffers heart attack from dry scooping TikTok challenge. Yeah, dry scooping. You guys heard of this? All right, this is punch yourself in the face, stupid. All right, here's the inside scoop on TikTok's dry scooping challenge. It's not for the faint of heart. Ha ha ha. In fact, the death-defying trend that prompts participants to ingest a mound of undiluted supplemental energy powder caused 20-year-old stripper and OnlyFans star Briatney Portillo to suffer a heart attack. Yeah, heart attack. Quote, I never thought something like this would ever happen to me, especially because I'm so young, Portillo told the Post. And while she was in the middle of having the heart attack in April, first responders didn't think she was in cardiac arrest either. Quote, the cops and EMTs were like, maybe it's just anxiety because you're about to dance, Ricard Portillo, who's worked as a stripper for more than a year. Portillo, I guess, Portillo, I don't know. Because of her age and profession, emergency medical techs initially assumed she was merely experiencing an anxiety attack sparked by the pressures of having to undress in front of strangers for money. Right? Right? All right. I'm calling it, guys. No dry scooping, okay? Don't do this. It's like we'll put this in the Tide Pod challenge and that other dumb shit that people were doing on the internet for attention. Stop it. Stop it. All right, let's continue, shall we? Futurism.com. That's all right. Jay says Darwin was right. All right. Scientists say they've created candy that heals tooth enamel. Huh, weird. Sucking on a new lozenge might help your teeth grow stronger. Weird. A team of scientists say they've developed an experimental lozenge kind of like a breath mint that could regrow your tooth enamel and strengthen your teeth. Researchers from the University of Washington are preparing to launch clinical trials to test out the lozenges, which are coated with genetically engineered protein building blocks that are expected to bind to the user's teeth and add a tiny layer of fresh enamel, according to a university press release. If it works, it could be the first treatment that actually regrows enamel rather than merely preserving and repairing whatever you happen to have left. Interesting, right? So notice this fiber gigabit over here from CenturyLink in the ad. It's not available in my house. Quit sending me these ads. Quit trying to tease me, you jerks. All right. The researchers already tested out the mints on teeth extracted from humans, pigs, rats, as well as on live rats. During that preclinical work, they found that 1 mint per day ought to be enough to maintain tooth enamel in the face of normal wear and tear. On top of that, the researchers suspect that a second daily mint would actually reintroduce a few micrometers of new enamel to the teeth, reversing damage. But only the upcoming clinical trials will reveal whether that's actually the case. All right. Neat, right? I think that's pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, wait. Did we already do this one? We already did this one. Oh, yeah. I grabbed the Obama article twice. Okay, well, the good news is I was trying to race through because we're a little bit behind. But now we're not, because it's the one I had was a duplicate. In any case, it's Friday, guys. For all my waving my arms and shaking my head and, you know, being disappointed in our news cycle and our media and our governments, remember, none of that stuff matters. Stay grounded. Understand where the truth comes from. And the only person you can trust now is yourself, meaning, and the people you love, all right? Because this information from the officials is a joke. It's a joke. The information from the press, it's a joke. It's all a joke. Literally every single thing that we've talked about, like we always say, all these conspiracy theories are coming true. So what's next? Well, that's a good question. And that kind of doesn't matter. Back to that. Back to the other thing. It doesn't matter. Hold them accountable when you can. Call it out. Don't be gaslighted by idiots that say, well, the New York Times said this, so it must be true. No, I'm sorry. They're liars just like the rest of them. No. Post-truth, if you see a headline, don't fall for it instantly. Take the time, reflect, do a little additional research, bounce it off some people. We got a great community here. Don't fall for this stuff, guys. They are literally trying to brainwash us every step of the way. And yeah, not good. It's not good. And so, like I said, don't baby in the bathwater. There's a baby in there. It's just buried in the bottom, in the deep end of the pool, all right, of the sludge in the pool. Like, that's how bad the news is. But there's a baby in there. There's some truth in there. It's just, yeah, a quagmire. So anyway, just, you know, don't go off the rails either way is my point. Try and stay centered and grounded and try to understand that the reason for the propaganda is they're trying to sway our opinion. And if a news cycle, for instance, remember the Wuhan lab leak hypothesis, which now has a name. A year ago, it didn't have a name. We were just dirty conspiracy theorists. Now it has an actual name because they want to legitimize it. When the news cycle changes and turns and completely goes opposite of what it was, be suspicious. All right? There are reasons for these things. I don't know those reasons, but I do know, I'm smart enough to know we should be suspicious of this. When last year it was not okay to say this, and this year If you're doubting this, now you're the dirty conspiracy theorist. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, we're done. Let's see. What's up, guys? You guys in the chat. You guys are hilarious. Okay, so we're finished. Now, this is the thing. Happy Friday. Have a fantastic weekend. Don't get buried in all this BS garbage that they're trying to feed to us. It's not necessary, and that's really my point. Trust in the people you love. Trust in yourself. You are smart enough. You are good enough, and doggone it, people like you. That's from that bad old skit from... Anyway, all right, so this is the thing. Thank you. This is my politician moment where I get to say thank you for listening. Thanks for spreading the word about this show. Thanks for spending your time with us. Like I said, I know there's a million other things you could be doing, and you're here. And I'm honored by that. I will always be honored by that. And thank you for supporting the show. Let's go to this. Let's go to the... Episode 4. This is our Star Wars crawl, thanking the people that have subbed up. If you want to support the channel, we have a Patreon, and we also have right here on Twitch. You could sub up, and again, if you have Amazon Prime, link the things, and you can send us. It sends me $2.49 a month if you do that. So it's a tiny thing, but it adds up, and it helps pay the bills of the show. I appreciate that a lot. And let's go. Let's do episode 4. And say thank you to the fine folks that have supported the show. All right. A huge thank you to all our amazing supporters. Join the list today. Here's the Twitch subs. AJ Dare, Aileen Nichan, Dark Devious, 40s AM, Ident, J Up, Jay from New York, Noble Kal-El, Monochromatic, Not the Golf Channel, Clint67, Stinky Carnival, Super Vike 1, and Satan Claus. Patreon supporters: Alien Nichan, Axel Steele, Dark Devious, Dwayne Dibley, Johnson, Hell21, J-Up, Matsal, Twigs. Thank you very much, guys. Like I said, your enthusiasm for this show and for these conversations inspires me and makes me want to go faster and do more and work harder, because I think it's important. And like I said, you energize me and give me hope for the future, that there are people out there that won't fall for the propaganda. But again, don't get too down. Don't get too down. I'm a little dour today. I'm a little pissed off because the news cycle makes me mad, but don't be mad. It's Friday. It's gorgeous outside. Go do something. Spend the weekend in a good way. We'll be back on Monday with more Troubled Minds news. Thanks again, guys. Bird, I don't know about the bird. The bird update, the little baby bird, the box moved, and so I think the mother's been feeding it. Either that or a cat got it. I don't know. So if I walk up to the box with the baby bird in it, the mother bird comes down after me. So I don't know. I have no answer. I'll keep you guys updated. All right, guys. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Thanks for listening.